What's up, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole. This is Dude That's Fucked Up.
Welcome.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I was just talking to Erin about how today in the kitchen I was thinking about the song Mr. Sandman and how just like randomly towards the end, there's a man's voice in it. They're like, Mr. Sandman. And then he's like, yes. It's so
See, I
weird.
feel like I don't listen to the full song because I'm like, I don't remember that.
I feel like that clip with that like call and response has been used in a movie that I've seen a billion times. And that's like why I know that part. Because I don't think he says anything else the entire song. But then in my head, I was thinking he had more lines. And I was like, oh, this guy in that song, so weird. But it's almost weirder that he just has the one line.
Yeah, like what's the point?
Yeah, like what?
We don't need you here, sir.
Yeah. You're not part of
Goodbye.
this. You're not part of the Shaunettes or whatever their names are.
Yeah.
GTFO.
Sir.
Write your own
please,
goddamn
we're singing
song.
a song.
Yeah. Fucking God. Sucks.
Oh my God. Well,
Remember when women couldn't even have their own credit card? That was cool.
yeah, like probably 10 years before we were born. Yeah.
Literally, no, like 3 years before we were born, probably. Pretty gross.
Cool.
Anyway.
Love that. Oh, fuck my life. Well, my life's pretty great, actually.
Yeah. Things are better now.
Yeah. We're okay.
Yeah,
we're okay now.
we're doing better.
We got to keep it that way, though. I hope everybody voted. It's the day after the election.
Yeah, a little late at this point if you didn't, but hopefully you did.
I hope. Yeah.
We got to take care of this shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm like...
And, I'm nervous. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. We're recording this like before election day, so I don't quite know. I feel like I usually have like an okay grasp on what's happening, but like I just feel like I don't know what's going to happen. So
it's been so unhinged, and you just think people have to know this is not right? And then we find out, no, people don't know that. And I got into an argument with Pete last weekend. We were driving where I like to have him cornered, and then I talk about really hard stuff.
Uh-oh. That's a tactic for sure.
Just kidding. I think
You're like,
driving...
you can't escape.
Yeah.
We're in the car.
Driving makes me think of, driving just makes me think differently. I don't know. It's like being in the shower or something where you're not distracted by reading things or social media or whatever. And so we were just talking about how, like, I think I had seen earlier that day how maybe Sarah Silverman was like, at this point, like, all Republicans are fucking garbage. And I feel confident in that. And it's like, at this point, no. Even if you're like, oh, I'm like humanitarian-wise I'm progressive, but like fiscally I'm conservative, so I vote Republican or whatever. It's like, well, then you're a straight up piece of trash because you're fucking over entire swaths of people, and like maybe we shouldn't be just focused on the dollar.
Well, and it's funny because the Republican Party is not even that anymore as like a like North Star of values.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
That party doesn't exist anymore. And if you think it does, you're living in a dream world.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the, like, voting, for down party lines, like whatever. But there's been a significant shift in like the actual values of the Republican Party, and they don't. Yeah. There's no such thing as a Reagan Republican anymore. And if there are, they're not winning the elections. Like, people, I mean, maybe like here and there they are, but like people are the candidates that are being put forward now in the Republican Party are full blown, like, just the absolute
like little
worst
hate
of
goblins.
The worst. Yeah, they're the worst of the worst. Like, people's family members who there's like candidates whose family members are coming out like
against them.
Against them.
Totally.
Like entire fucking like extended families of Republican candidates being like, we're voting for the Democratic opponent to our brother, our son, our uncle, or whatever, because he's such a fucking piece of shit and he's fully unfit to be like in charge of anything.
Yeah.
Like, let alone a governor or, senator, whatever
my
they're running for.
goodness.
So yeah, there's a few of them that are like that bad where their families like have come out
That's so
against them.
wild.
So, and who knows you better than anybody but your family. So that's a pretty fucking that's a big indictment on your character. So, and I mean, the fact that people need to be told this and like can't, like the memory holes that we fall into of these news cycles where, and also like we've been so inured to so much garbage for so long,
Yeah.
that we just can't even
Like take it in. I know. Well, and this is what I was saying. I was like, yeah, everyone's like just straight trash. But then Pete reminded me, he's like, well, some people don't have, like, some people are indoctrinated and don't have access to like any real information. And I was like, that's fucking scary. Cause like it feels bad to hate those people. I do still. But like it's not, like there's a whole swath of people, and I don't really hate them, but where they're like learning everything from like maybe their church, and then when they go home all that's on is Fox News, and then when they're around their family all that's talked about is like one side, and there's no actual information getting through to anyone, or everything they learn is on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck, and they don't even know
people don't know how to like seek out information that is like credible or unbiased, or I mean like everything's sort of biased, but like I think it's funny, there's like people who are quote unquote free thinkers, and it's like you're literally just you're regurgitating what a like weird man on YouTube is telling you. So it's just like truly strange. But yeah, people don't have the understanding of like media anymore, and like how to like parse through in a like in a thoughtful way of like they don't know how to like understand information that's coming at them 24/7. And I don't blame a lot of people, because the way news cycles work and the way like media corporations are like making money is just like this constant bombardment.
And it's for profit. Like everything's for profit. So, I know. It's so wild. And it's like, ultimately people do have a choice, but like they don't even know that what they're reading is not real or whatever. It's like people have no news literacy. They're not interested in even finding out that they don't have it, and or that there are even like more neutral. They're so brainwashed, it's like they don't even understand that there are more neutral news sources that you can get information from that isn't super one-sided. A lot of them are like news publications that have been around for a very long time, and not generally on your television.
Yeah, it's rough out there. Yeah. I don't necessarily blame people for like not having the wherewithal sometimes.
Yeah, not everyone, but there are people that know better. A lot.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
there have to be.
There's smart people who are willingly stupid about a lot of stuff, and it's because it's like it's hard to critically think sometimes, and you want to be comfortable. Yeah. You want to be comfortable in the status quo that has been set up for you, and keeps everything so comfortable for you. So
dude, it's wild.
Yeah, well.
Anyway,
it's a lot of radioactive waste.
Ooh, good segue.
Out there, if you will. Yeah.
Don't touch it. Don't get close to it.
Don't touch it.
Garbage.
Don't get close to it. Don't make it worse for yourself, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, today's topic has never occurred to me, and now it's all that I could really think about right now. Yeah. It has nothing to do with politics or voting or anything.
Well, it doesn't not. Oh, well,
no. It's very much a philosophical and real world problem.
Yeah.
That I guess needs to be dealt with. I don't know.
I know. Well, I don't know. It depends on how long you think we'll be here as humans on this planet. But I do want to say shout out to Sarah in our Patreon Discord for I don't know even if they suggested it as a topic, but they just were, you know, we have like convos in there all day, every day, just like sharing things we find. And they shared this, and like we were like, what is this? And it's such a weird, like, oh yeah, this is a problem we probably should deal with, but like we created it also.
Yeah, humans existing on this earth have been nothing but trouble. Let me tell you. So the question of the day is, how the hell do you warn a future civilization of the danger of radioactive materials when language and iconography can change over time and become incomprehensible? What could you possibly leave behind to make it clear to like future humans over 10,000 years from now? What, like, how do you convey that a place is extremely dangerous and could possibly wipe out humanity? Like, or just make like a huge chunk of humanity very sick and die from radioactive material.
It's so, like, this makes me very anxious because it's like, it seems like there are solutions, but like you said, like over time, languages change, iconography changes, the way people feel about certain things changes. So like we can't even, I don't know, like it's so hard. And even my first thought, which was a joke, and I was like, maybe something like this was like in Nope, all those car lot things, you know, like let's just put a bunch of those there, and like it's like, no, don't come over here, you know, like, but then it's like,
or
no,
is it
friendly.
fun?
Yeah. Some people might feel that that's creepy, and they'd be like, creepy, what are all, like, who's managing all those, like in the middle of nowhere, and why are they all like in sync? And then other people might be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go over there and party with those, like,
yeah, oh, this is a
fabric people.
This is where we should party.
Yeah,
right?
This is the party.
No. Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the ideas that researchers have come up with and how bad or possibly delightful they are. I don't know. Like, to warn future human civilization about the danger of radioactivity.
Yeah.
Because we are dumping that shit. We have to put it somewhere. It is out. It is in our world, and we have done something with it. We've buried it underground, basically.
Oh my God. Like, and now we just all have cancer. Like, I hope we're not making more. Are we constantly making more?
Listen, radioactive materials have always existed. Like, they exist.
Fair. It's like
on
mercury.
Our planet. Yeah. Well,
is that radioactive?
As elements.
It's poisonous if you touch it.
It's poisonous.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain materials that have always existed on Earth that are radioactive. Some more than others. We're exposed to like radioactive, you know, like a bit of material every, like a very, very small amount of it when we go like up in an airplane, let's say. Because we're up in the, you know, stratosphere, and we're getting, you know, solar radiation, but, or like when we go get some sort of body scan or something done. Right?
Yeah.
But all those amounts of radiation are so low that they can't affect us. I'm talking about like plutonium, levels of radioactive material. When something comes in contact with like plutonium, it will absorb the isotopes from it and also become radioactive. So it's like this thing that spreads.
Oof.
So what we do with the remnants of the stuff that comes in contact with radioactive material, it needs to be disposed of. And radioactivity works on like a literal inhuman scale. Like it breaks down over time, but it doesn't break down for like hundreds of thousands of years. It's a thing called a half-life, and as it shrinks down, it's well with like beyond our lifespan.
Yeah.
So not just tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, if not, some radioactive material has lifespan of who knows?
Yeah,
like
we won't even know.
500,000 years
Yeah.
because we don't exist.
Yeah, we won't be here. Like maybe even people in general won't be here.
So yeah, the waste that's created when building nuclear weapons or running nuclear power plants has half-life of tens of thousands of years, and we just if once we need to get rid of it, we bury it in the ground.
That sounds it's so wild to me that we do that.
Bitch, we used to throw that shit in the fucking ocean.
Dude.
And finally people were like, we like get food out of the ocean and like currents like carry that
we get
shit
food
all
from the
around
ground,
world.
dude. Like we get it's all
Yeah.
we're all like the hubris of humans to think that that's not gonna affect them and that the problems have been dealt with, to me, is insane. Like,
well, at least in certain areas in the earth,
yeah,
like nothing is being grown around it, and it's not to a point where it can leach because they've built facilities that can contain it.
Yeah.
So we hope.
We hope it's just slowly eating away at it. No one has any clue.
Yeah. So in the United States, we have created a waste isolation pilot plant, which is called WIP for short. It's the nation's only permanent underground repository for nuclear waste. There's a couple others in the world. The biggest one, I believe, is in Germany, and they're specifically designed for containing the waste of radioactive material.
Dang.
It's located approximately 26 miles east of Carlsbad, New Mexico. Yeah. And it contains radioactive byproducts from nuclear weapons manufacturing and nuclear power plants. And WIP was designed not only to handle like waste from various forms of nuclear sludge, but it also we're talking about other things that, like I was saying before, have come in contact with radioactive materials such as tools and gloves and like the biohazardy kind of suits.
Yeah.
And so with the disposal method remaining solidly on Earth, I wondered about shooting that shit out into space, but that's extremely dangerous because if something went wrong with like the rocket that it was being carried on, it would mean radioactive material in our atmosphere, and then we're fucked.
Oh my God. Like
really fucked.
Cape Canaveral or whatever, like it just like doesn't launch and explodes, and then like everyone, it's just in our atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
How scary. It's so scary to me talking about this stuff. Like I can't believe it's people's job to like go manage this shit.
I know.
Oh.
I know. Long term, so what has happened is with the fact that it's like staying here on Earth, like we can't get rid of it. It's always going to be here. It always has been here, but we've just like really opened Pandora's box with it. Long-term nuclear waste warning messages are needed to be like developed to attempt to hopefully deter future human intrusion at nuclear waste repositories in the very far future.
Yeah.
And the idea of it being like 10,000 years from now is just an arbitrary marker.
But it's a good one because it's like
it's a good one.
We look back.
It's very hopeful, in my opinion.
It's very oh yeah. I told Pete like what we were talking about today, and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, I feel like this is a stupid thing to even worry about because who's even gonna be alive? He's like, this is such a waste of fucking time. I was like, yeah. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I think like 10,000 years ago, if you look back, like there's cave paintings and shit, like we have messages that were maybe not always sent to people in the future, but maybe somewhere. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But like, it's cool that like there are communications that we can clearly see. And so it's not that weird to think that as long as we take care of the planet, which we're not, that 10,000 years in the future, like someone could stumble upon fucking Carlsbad, New Mexico.
I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about the future of the human race, but it is a noble
Yeah,
idea,
it's an
and it is like
ideal.
it is the the sentiment is appreciated
Yeah.
because of course, like, if there are going to be future humans, we need to
Yes.
make sure that they do not come into contact with these like insane
Oh
amounts of
my God.
radioactive waste.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, for a little historical context, so this has been on people's minds since like the 60s and 70s. Like,
yeah, since we started like
yeah.
experimenting with since we were like,
Yeah.
uh-oh,
Oh, we
we
can't
did
just
a
throw this away.
bomb. Yeah. We
Oh,
did. Oh
oh no.
no.
Like,
Everybody's melting from
yeah.
this, and
Like,
there's
oh,
like 2 decades later we're having some major oh, it's the
yeah.
radioactive waste.
Oh
Whoops.
God. Yeah. People really were like, put a lot of attention into it.
It was a big
It was
whoopsie.
a big whoopsie. Yeah. So in 1981, the Human Interference Task Force was founded, and their whole purpose was to come up with a solution to ensure that future peoples were warned of toxic waste and radioactive bomb sites and like all of our uh-ohs. And so they decided as a task force that the three parts of any communication about nuclear waste must be conveyed to posterity by meeting the following criteria. So the first has to be that it is a message at all. Like, it has to be clear. This is a message to someone receiving it. It's not, they're not like, look at this cute cave painting of a little stick thing. It's like, must be how they kept track of their daily life. It's like, well, we don't know that. Like, it has to be very clear that this is a message.
Yeah.
Communication. The second is that dangerous material is stored in the given location. So that has to be made clear. And then third is that information about the type of dangerous substances needs to be also made clear. So like,
Yeah.
not only is it, hey, by the way, like this location has some dangerous materials stored here, we also need to communicate like what the type is and maybe what the problem might be. And like, I will admit, when we first started looking into this, I was like, this is fucking bonkers that people think like that anyone is going to keep track of this for centuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
For millennia, and it seems silly, but like we kind of just said, you look around and you do realize that we've been getting messages from our past selves for fucking ever,
Yeah.
and some have held up. Because we have things like cave paintings, which sometimes maybe it's a diary or whatever, a family portrait.
Or just like a day-to-day life. Like, this is what I did today. I'm gonna paint something on the wall about it.
Yeah, like I am supposed to be a gatherer, but I'm also an artiste. And today I'm going to do a cave painting. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But also they did use it to communicate. They used cave paintings sometimes can be about like dangerous animals in the area or like an event that happened. So it is a communication. And then we talked about in an episode like a super long time ago, Egyptian, mostly royalty and like upper class Egyptians were buried like long time ago, were buried in tombs, and those had warnings written on them. And it was important for those warnings to speak to people about maybe the reason that person died, if they had like a blood disease or some sort of like weird thing that was
like a contagious. Yeah.
So it was like, hey, beware, this was going on. But also they would warn of like curses and stuff too, which is a little more like, the spiritual side of things, but and for people not to loot their loved ones' things, but still it was like a message to people. And then like way more recently, but still within the last 600 years, in Japan there are like 600 or older year old or older signs warning people of tsunami prone areas. And some of them might say like, hey, don't build here. Like, you know, they weren't all the same. There wasn't like a tsunami area task force in the 600 years ago, you know, but like,
it was just somebody like having the like wherewithal and the thoughtfulness to be like, y'all shit will get fucked up if you try to live right here.
This area is wet, like very wet. So you might not want to stay here. But some were like, hey, don't build here. Like, this is not, like, it looks nice. It's close to the water, and it seems like it might be a good place, but it's dangerous. And then some were just warnings about actual tsunamis and like, hey, if there's an earthquake, get to higher ground. So, like, lots of different kinds of messages that people are leaving.
Yeah. However, with the Japanese, like, markers, the like, ancient Japanese markers, people still didn't heed the warnings and still built there knowing what it meant. Like after like finding out what it meant, they're like, oh, but like beachfront property, let's make some money.
Well, they might be in those towns where it's like, hey, if there's an earthquake, just get out of here. And they're like, okay. Like, and
maybe we have like solutions to like the problem that was being conveyed. We don't know. Or like with the Egyptians, you know, the curses and stuff, we're like, we don't believe in curses anymore.
Right.
Should we? Maybe? I don't know.
Can we still catch this? And that's the thing. It's like you could still catch radioactivity. So maybe that's like a fair warning.
Yeah, there's maybe stuff that we still don't understand about, like, even though we think we do about like ancient Egyptian burial sites, maybe there's something there that we are woefully unaware of, and we've already unleashed like we've sealed our doom maybe as civilization.
We should ask Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, we should. Always comes back to the mummy on this podcast.
It's never not the mummy here. I really was thinking about him the other day.
Like really thinking about him.
I was like, man, what a life to live. I'm so glad he's having a renaissance.
Me too.
Yeah. Well,
bless his heart.
Yeah, bless his heart. Okay, so you kind of alluded to like iconography, typography, like symbolism. Those things change over time. And so when we're like, oh, like can people even keep track of this shit? Like, are people going to be able to keep track of what this means 10,000 years from now? It's like, absolutely not. No. We've lost whole ass languages.
Yeah.
Kids don't even know what a fucking landline is. And they're barely, those still exist. They're here on this planet right fucking now. And kids are like, what's this? And they're making cute TikToks, but it's like, it's a phone, for crying out loud.
Jesus Christ.
So.
Oh my God. They don't know the hang up, like the hang up sign. Like they don't know what that means. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. They don't know anything about a landline.
They don't know what a rotary phone is. They don't know. They don't know a lot of shit. I don't think
you could hand a child a map and ask them, what is this?
Give them a fucking what's it called? Atlas.
Oh, no. They're like, what is
I
this?
mean?
They're like, I can't scroll this with my fingers.
They're like, what are the white pages? What are the yellow pages?
Yeah.
There's a really great episode of 99% Invisible about this very problem of language and iconography and, even what we consider like a universal meme being like the idea behind it being totally lost over time.
Yeah.
All of these things have their own half-lives, and they're much shorter than the span of a radioactive material half-life. So listen to that for more like context on like how we don't even know, like only like a handful of people even have a fraction of the understanding of the original translation of Beowulf. Like that we like seriously, like the Old English we've totally lost. There's dead languages. Like so like what language would we even write a warning in? It's just so fascinating to think.
And that's the thing, because we don't even as obviously we're in the United States and we're very US centric and I think so many things have to be considered. Like you talk about memes and losing the kind of like meaning of those, and it's like if that even got to everyone and resonated with everyone in the first place, like memes are very specific to your sensibilities.
Yeah.
And so like memes that do well here might not do well in like other parts of the world. Around the same time, so in the 60s, the WIPP, they worked with a company called Dow Chemical. This is when fucking radioactivity was popping off. They're like making microwaves and shit. They're like fucking with radiation left and right. It's a big deal. And so Dow Chemical really was involved in this. And so they wanted to be responsible, I think. And they were like, look, we'll work with you. We're going to develop a new symbol and we're going to warn the others of the dangers of chemical waste, both now and in the future. Like we need something now so that people are aware of like radioactivity maybe in their everyday lives, but then also like in the future. And so they looked at existing symbolism. So like, for example, the Jolly Roger, which is the skull and crossbones. It feels very
like a pirate.
Like a pirate flag. Yeah.
Pirate flag. Yeah.
And
it's a skull with swords on it.
Yeah, skull with swords or the cross, the bones under
crossbones.
it. Yeah. And so they were like, oh yeah, this could be great. But then they quickly realized that while that was a symbol of like pirates in danger for decades or, hundreds of years, centuries, they were also like, oh, but now is kind of like a fun treasure symbol. And so we don't know if people in the future will be like, fuck yeah, treasure. And then just like dig up all the shit.
Yeah, totally.
And so they're like, maybe we need a clean slate. So they didn't want the symbol to be mistaken for something else. And they were also like, okay, also if we come up with our own thing, if we're like our own thing, then we can ascribe the meaning to it. So then it will be that meaning moving forward, hopefully. It will catch on. It's like making fetch happen. They were just going to do it from scratch. And so they came up with the trefoil logos that are the radioactivity logos, where it's like 3 rings and they're kind of like connected in a trefoil. And there's that other one that's like, it's like the inner parts of the rings or something. But anyway, they went through like so many focus groups and like all this work to make sure it was unmistakable and really could stand as the face. It could be the face of radioactivity.
But like also like whenever I see those symbols, like when you're in New York or something, it's like for a fallout shelter. It's like, doesn't mean that there's fucking radioactivity in the building. It means that it's a fallout shelter from radio.
And that's
so it's
the
like,
problem.
It's the mixed messaging.
It's
like
mixed
people
messaging.
don't actually. And then outside of the U.S., I don't know like that people in, I don't know, Madagascar have the same context for like what that trefoil symbol is,
or like anywhere, because they don't, because I do want to note that more than 94% of the world's population may not even recognize that logo. So they like thought they were coming up, but again, that's like being very US centric and being very much like, oh, cool. Like if we all know what it means, everyone will know what it means. And it's like, no, this didn't catch on. And so next they started ideating around like, physical warnings, which I thought was very fascinating. So instead of like symbolism, it's kind of like putting barbed wire up around something, which actually that's a great idea. I don't know why they haven't done that.
Yeah, because it won't last for 10,000 years.
Well, you got to keep redoing it. It's like painting a house.
Then it's like, but it's like the same thing. It's like, why are we putting barbed wire around this? Like they might lose the like.
Oh, like is something valuable in there? Like why are people trying to keep us out? Yeah, that's fair.
Like how there's like there's literally like people who won't get vaccines because they think that the vaccine is worse than the disease. It's like people will like get mixed messages and like create their own ideas, and like the message will get mixed and they won't understand why they need to protect themselves from this deadly material.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's just that thing of is this to keep me out or is this to keep something valuable in? Like, you wouldn't know. And so, well, they looked at things initially that made people uncomfortable. Like they were looking at like they were like, what if we put a big field of spikes? Like we just put, but it's the same issue. It's the same thing of like, yeah, some people will think it's scary and some people will think what am I not supposed to see in there, and be curious and like go dig around.
Or just be like, is this like a cool art?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, they're taking selfies in front of, there's Airbnbs all around it.
Yeah.
People are just like on these Instagram vacations, taking fucking photo shoots for sure. That's
like, what if like Stonehenge, like, because we still don't know what the purpose of Stonehenge is.
Yeah.
And a few other like, you know, historically like ancient sites like this, we still don't know what the purpose is for it. The like message of what it was has been lost long ago. Whatever it was meant to convey or whatever the purpose of it was is like gone.
Yeah.
So what if we've already discovered radioactive material and like
is radioactive.
And Egyptians, like, they have that shit buried in their tombs and they're like, please do not come in here.
Yeah.
Like,
listen,
please
this
do
is
not
for
come
you.
don't come to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
This shit is bad. Like, what if like the symbology and the like, you know, the circular thing meant something different then? Like, what if that meant danger and not just some, you know, I don't know.
I know.
We have no idea. So
I know. Yeah, it's true. Well, they couldn't really figure it out. I think the Human Interference Task Force like is kind of the people leading this. But they had some other ideas, I think.
Yeah. One of the really interesting ideas that they had, and a phrase that came out of this task force that is so fucking cool and metal.
Oh my God.
Is atomic priesthood, which
it.
was coined by the linguist Tomek Sebek in 1981 while he served on the team that was assembled by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Bechtel Corporation. This is like the same kind of like there's new committees forming all the time.
The Human Interference Task Force or whatever. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. This one was from 1981. They were working to, again, consider new and novel ways to communicate the dangers of nuclear waste. And they coined this term atomic priesthood, or this guy did. And the idea seems interesting because it's like, what you would do is like, I think what I think of this, I think of like the Knights of the Templar, like people like in Indiana Jones, like protecting the Holy Grail or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
And like that's what I like in it too.
It's like the Da Vinci Code Keepers or whatever too. It's like it's very
it's very
it's a
very
brotherhood.
Interesting.
It's like a secret society.
Yeah, but like with all that kind of shit, like people find out about it even if it's supposed to be secret,
right,
and then don't know what it actually is about, and then like conspiracy theories pop up and stuff. And it also might be liable to be infiltrated by a lot of fuckery.
Yeah.
So this woman, Susan Garfield, wrote a critique of Sebek's idea and points out how it might be problematic to artificially create an elite caste, which is what a priestly caste is by definition.
Sure.
Like, so when you have like a group of people who are like
exclusive
and privy to like very like privileged information,
right,
they're gonna be in their own little world and they're endowed with a lot of power. So the idea of the priestly caste also cast. Why do I keep doing that? It's because I'm reading it like phonetically. There's also the issue of the priestly caste abdicating its duties in some way. So maybe over time, like it just becomes something where they're like, well, maybe it's not so bad.
Yes.
And maybe it'd be okay if like we let the world be poisoned. Like, let's let it just happen. Like,
or they have a hard ass time getting new people into the priesthood or whatever. Like people are like, no, I don't, no, thank you.
Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility to put on a very small number of people.
Yeah.
Like, what if they like just decided to make their little group of people like some very powerful elite group?
Yeah.
And started amassing worldly influence or something. And, you know, it's scary. Yeah. So we don't know. Another idea that was put forward in this around 1981 in this like same think tank group was put forward by the Polish science fiction writer Stanislaw Lem, who he proposed the creation of artificial satellites that would beam warnings back to Earth. I don't really get how. I don't know how this would.
That's assuming that you have like equipment forever that can read those.
Yeah, it's like a fun idea, but like very science fiction-y. He also proposed the creation of, quote, information plants, which is vegetation that would somehow convey the danger of nuclear areas to future humans. So like the plants would,
be poisonous or something.
They'd be like, they'd change color, or they'd change, they'd die or whatever if they were thriving everywhere else, the closer they got to this like nuclear waste. I don't know. I feel like that's what plants do anyway. I don't know. Or they'd change color or something like that.
Maybe they would be poisonous. Like, like they would have some sort of like mushrooms that grow there that you can't eat. So it like warned you that this isn't a good, you don't want this. But then you still have the problem of, okay, like 5,000 years from now, people are trying to dig some crops and they're like, these mushrooms fucking suck. They keep giving everyone diarrhea. So then they like dig them all up and then
they eradicate them. Yeah. So who's to say that like generations, future people to come would even understand what the message the satellites were beaming and what the hell the information plants were trying to say. Like, and then, it's like, they're like, sorry, we got these weird weeds here. We're just going to spray them with this like ultra fucking
oh my God
weed killer and be done with it.
It does feel so futuristic, like 300 years from now, where they're like, it's like a Hunger Games situation where it's like, look, Katniss, it's one of those information plants. Do you have your like information plant reader? Like it just is so.
It's so dumb.
It's so ridiculous.
Like also, what if we make something that is like trying to solve this problem that it becomes way worse
problem, like it it eats all the birds in the entire world or something, or it just like poisons us immediately because the air's fucked up or something.
Yeah, who's to say? So and then this is the most fun idea I think of the whole lot of that has come out of these like brainstorms. There's been a pitch to do something with cats that's similar to the proposed idea of quote information plants.
Information cats.
Information Ray cats. The idea is to breed cats in such a way that their fur changes color when they're close to radioactive material. There's even a song that somebody made about it that's like supposed to be an earworm. And that's also supposed to like stick around for 10,000 years, but it's like, it's fine. It's not. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not going to make it.
I can't remember how it goes. Like I've listened to it several times and I can't remember it. So
there's a
I don't know if that says, maybe that says something about me. I don't know.
It's reminding me of that laser cat sketch from SNL. Like anything where cats have to do work, first of all, it's not going to happen. Cats do whatever the fuck they want. We've talked about
Why not
this.
Dogs? Dogs are the ones we've had this
Lassie.
like fucking we've had this we've had a whole ass episode about how dogs have been around humans more
Yeah.
than any other animal.
Yeah.
So dogs are the ones that should do it. Like, no offense to cats or anything. I'm a cat person, but
Yeah.
like, they're going to be like, we're going to like breed this like weird fur out of our system. Bye.
Yeah. They're like, I'm busy. Also,
I'm not
I hate
working
it here.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like probably going to be the ones to like develop, like they're going to like in 10,000 years, cats are going to become the dominant species on Earth. And they're going to like develop their own rocket ship probably and blast themselves off this planet.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, they're gonna go
gonna
find smarter beings.
Yeah.
They're gonna, and also they won't need to. They're like, we can sense it's radioactive. No worries. Like, we're not gonna go near it.
Yeah, they're like, it smells weird here. I am not even going to go near it. And I don't work for humans. So I'm not even going to go close to it again. Like, come on.
But then we come to find out that one of the solutions that the Human Interference Task Force came up with, because they interfered, they're humans and they're interfering, it was to do like a laser. They're like, we'll set up lasers as a warning outside, but then all the cats just get distracted.
Yeah, they're like,
they're like, wait, what is this place? I think maybe I like it.
No, lasers won't last 10,000 years.
No.
Cats definitely will, but and then there's like there's a few other like ideas thrown around, like making a cultural kind of like vibe around how bad nuclear waste is. Like, it's something that like we don't really talk in pop culture about, but it's like you make it so that like there's folk songs and folklore about radioactive material, and that becomes ingrained in the culture of human existence, and permeates like just human knowledge, just like how we know how to hunt and how we know, you know, what poisonous plants are, and like how we've evolved over time to like just know that as like a thing in our minds, like that we can eat animals and I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and plants. So that's some very fantastical kind of interesting and creative solution, quote unquote solutions, which aren't solutions. They're just fun philosophical ideas.
I think these are smart though. I think the like cultural, you know, storytelling is the only form of like information that has survived, you know, like getting information, books and stuff, you know, like,
but those are actually very like recent in terms of the timeline of human history.
Stories?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Like, we don't have stories from, you know, from the beginning of humankind. Like, those haven't carried over.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like books and, you know, printed word are still relatively new technology in terms of like our footprint on this earth.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. Books are even newer, but like the idea of like telling, you know, like information being passed on through the act of storytelling is old. It's probably survived a good amount in terms of like our history.
But like, I think even about like the Bible, one of the oldest texts on earth, even before that, like written word, you know, from Sumerians and shit like that, the meaning behind it is still like, we might have the text, but we don't understand what it means because the language is lost. Or even if we do understand the language, if we have the Rosetta Stone for it, we don't understand the meaning behind it. 100%.
Because context was so different.
Mm-hmm. Though, like, if we encountered we are genetically still the same as humans were, you know, tens of thousands of years ago, but culturally we're aliens, you know, like we're just, we couldn't be more different, and we probably couldn't understand how to function. I don't know.
That's why movies like Bill and Ted are funny, Because it's like, put a current person back in olden days or whatever, and hijinks ensue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And we're talking like, we can't even conceptualize what, like 10,000 years, again, like I was saying in the beginning, is just a arbitrary number.
Right.
If we're to assume that humankind lasts for much longer, you know,
There's no way.
There's well, let's just give it, say, 100,000 years from now.
Yeah.
We don't even know what could possibly be going on with humankind, if that's still a thing.
Well, 100,000 years is more than 10,000.
Yes, it is. It is.
Even 100 years from now, I guess. Like, who knows what's going to be going on?
But, you know, it's just the way human beings evolve, even if we are genetically still the same, like culturally and societally, we will be so different. So I think the most down-to-earth suggestion, though, from this whole brainstorm came from a Swiss physicist named Emil Kowalski, who suggested that sealing up the nuclear waste so that it is impossible to reach without a level of technology commensurate with what we currently have. So if a future humans are able to penetrate something that is like so technologically advanced, like in terms of like being sealed up, then it's safe to assume that people have created tools sophisticated enough to like reach down to the waste and penetrate the like very sophisticated
like
chambers, you know.
They'll have a way to deal with it if they're able to like get into it.
Yeah, it's safe to assume that they'll know what radioactive materials are, and they will have tools that can measure radiation and understand the like danger of it.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're not giving our future selves very much credit here.
Yeah, okay. I think so. We were talking about like the cats and how there's a song. I think a song is the best way to do this, and because if you think about sea shanties and stuff, like there are songs that have that are centuries old that people still know, and it's like, you know, maybe we don't use them for the purpose they were there, but there's a better chance of that surviving than maybe like a book or something, you know, and people being able to understand it. And maybe it will be translated into lots of languages if it's good. So I wrote a song. Okay. Also, it's already a popular song.
Okay, there we go.
And that is helpful. It's all over Twitter. It's from Our Lady Lizzo, who art on earth. And so, okay, this is called It's a Climate Crime. And I'm just going to sing it. Okay, you know how the song starts like with anyway? Well, it's going to start not this way. It's heeding a warning. Okay, I'm going to sing it. It's bad sitch o'clock. Yeah, this is real dirty. You need to step back a lot or you might get hurty. Just everybody back up. Just everybody back up from the building. It's been a minute. Is your nose bleeding? 'Cause there's nuclear waste that we're concealing. How you feeling? Are you bleeding now? Oh, this toxic waste is building pressure. We promise there's no buried treasure. Oh, this ain't a place that you should ever be. This is a warning letter. Turn up the pH. Turn off the lights. This place is poison. You're not gonna be all right. Okay, not all right. It's a climate crime. The end.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
I've solved it.
You did it.
You're welcome, future humanity.
That will last for at least 10,000 years for sure.
Well, it's the perfect like equation. Messaging, important, urgent messaging with a song that's already a bop.
That's right. I think you're right. I think that's the solution for sure. Like let us into the fucking human, what is it?
The human interference task force, which also it's like, I think we've interfered enough here. I think we've interfered enough.
Let's just take a step back, okay? Let's let everybody just take a step back.
Yeah.
Be like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to stop.
Yeah. Focus on you. Humans focus on you and yourself. And
let's keep a some distance and just like stop meddling, and we got to let the future humans learn on their own. So
yeah. Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's cute that we think there will still be humans inhabiting our quickly uninhabitable Earth. And if there are, they will probably understand what and how to detect radioactive waste. That's my hope. If like we're being that hopeful, like we should also hope that like future humans are gonna like have technology. Like there's no way we can last on this earth without being like without figuring some shit out. You know what I mean?
Exactly what I was gonna say.
So we'll have something to figure this out. You know what we should do, what we should be spending our time on, what we should be having like all these fucking like smartest minds and like just people for having this task force of human interference bullshit. What we should really be focusing on is how we know corporations are actively poisoning humans with chemicals and radioactive materials leaching into soil and drinking water, because we still don't know how to dispose of this shit properly. Like we know how to do like the big heavy duty radioactive materials, but like we have like a lot of chemicals and byproducts that we use on an everyday basis that like we're just like willy-nilly. People like the Dow Corporation is actively trying to dispose of in the middle of various communities of Black and brown people, because they think nobody's gonna care. And people are just getting cancer and getting all kinds of very unique illnesses, unique to certain types of chemicals and materials that should not be entering a human being's drinking water. So
this is a perfect example too of how they got involved, of how corporations will be like, look over here, like hey, why don't we help solve this? It's like, you fucking started it, you better help solve it. But no one, none of us are focused on like big corporations. It honestly feels so daunting to even take it up with any big corporations. And we would hope, this goes back to the beginning where it's like we hope our politicians are holding them accountable and like doing things that are in our best interest, and you know what, they aren't.
No.
So
we're just on a big rock hurtling through endless space. So enjoy the ride. Try not to touch any fucking plutonium. And
try not to make it worse.
Try not to make it worse. Period. And maybe we could leave a cute song for future humans and hope that it fingers crossed that they figure it out. So otherwise, like, who gives a shit?
I'll be dead in 40 years.
We're here for a short time, not a long. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So
it's I don't know.
I know. It feels so overwhelming.
I know. I can't.
But then the way I comfort myself is by reminding myself that we are on a spaceship on a rock hurtling through space.
That's not comforting for me. But
and we're insignificant. And we're insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah, that goes right against my I'm the hero of my story narrative that I have going. So that doesn't jive with mine, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I should try to embrace that more.
No. It's good. It feels good. It's just like nothing fucking matters.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So I just let go.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
Oh, man. Well, gosh. Hope you're not just in full despair or nuclear meltdown mode, sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Listen.
Oh my God. If you are, just do what my therapist told me yesterday. Get back to basics. Eat, sleep. Get back to basics.
Love that.
Yeah.
Get back to
Get
basics.
back to basics. Eat, sleep, do a couple manageable tasks every day. That's it. Just focus on that. I said, I can do that. And then I did too many things yesterday. And then by the end of the day, I was like, oh no.
You got overconfident.
I think I messed up. But
I did too much. I did not the basics.
I did more than the basics. But then I today recovered by watching a lot of Love is Blind on Netflix. So don't you worry about me.
There you go. You just recalibrate yourself there.
I said, oh, I know how to fix this. Netflix.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm currently in a spiral, so I need to
get back to the basics.
I need to get back to the basics. So
it did help me for about 5 minutes yesterday, but I need to write it down probably. I took some notes. Anyway, it mostly says get back to the basics.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you're still with us. Oh my God. I do want a radioactive. I want a Ray cat.
I want a Ray cat. Yeah. I would.
Where they glow in the dark if shit gets weird.
Oh hell yeah! I want a Ray cat. I want to be a part of the Atomic Priesthood. I want to be the lead singer of it.
Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Yeah, that's the theme song.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom. I'm your cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb.
And then you're like, there's a bomb here.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right, we did enough singing for the night.
Yikes.
Hey, follow us on social media at DTFU Podcast everywhere.
Go to our website DTFUpodcast.com, and from there maybe check out our Patreon. We have a Discord. That's how we got today's topic.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah, shout out. Thank you for giving us this gift.
It is a gift.
It is a gift. Erin,
existential crisis.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or it sent Erin on a spiral. You decide.
No. This is like 1000% my wheelhouse. I love it.
Good.
I love it so much. Yeah. What else? We have merch.
Ooh.
If you haven't checked that out on our website.
Yes.
Go check that out.
So fun. And the holidays are coming up. Maybe you have a friend who loves the pod and listens to it, and you both want to have matching merch, or maybe you want someone to get it for you for the holidays.
Hint, hint.
Or maybe you want to buy it for your goddamn self.
That's right.
And I say do it.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nothing left to say except be excellent to yourselves.
And each other.
Bye. Don't touch plutonium.
It's radioactive. There's already a song.
Radioactive. I don't know.
I don't like that song.
I hate it. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.